Sorry, I was spinning. I was already spinning.
No problem.
Yeah, sorry about that again.
All right, practice.
Someone's mind saying something else. I'm moving boxes around.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You are looking down at the Homestead-Miami Speedway virtually on iRacing. A track built in 1995. A driver's favorite. And tonight the finale for the All-American Cup Series. It is race number 36 overall of 2023. It is race number 14 of the 6th season as we welcome you in to South Florida in Homestead-Miami Speedway. I'm the captain. We welcome you as always on this Friday night, the final Friday night of racing in 2023 that you will see when it comes to league racing as we move into the holiday season. And it has been a year of racing that we have seen tons of different winners, tons of great racing, and tonight we crown one champion at least, potentially two champions when it is all said and done here in Dade County. Tonight, Mark Whitley has a chance to do something that many drivers have done. However, he's done it a little different, if you will, than those most, as a lot of people have had to fight and battle for wins and edge out their opponents. Mark Whitley, on the other hand, at about race number 4 this season, went to victory lane for the first time, and after that, he has not looked back, winning all but 2 races pretty much throughout the rest of the season, and is set to put his name on the trophy as a champion here in the All-American Cup Series season. So that is the big storyline here for Season 6. The other storyline tonight is Christopher Heller, the driver of the 8 car. Chris has a chance tonight to win the overall championship in the All-American Cup Series of the 28 races. I'm so used to that out of habit. 28 races this season. Basically, Chris can do it, just finishing in the top 10. Most of the other championships are finalized, but as they say in life, we have to run the race, don't we? So, obviously, plenty of things to come as we get ready to race here in sunny South Florida. That was the best intro I could give you when it comes to tonight and the tribute that you're probably seeing a lot of people talk about and do when it comes to the great Ken Squire. Ken passed away, unfortunately, a couple days ago. And Ken, you could argue, is the father of NASCAR broadcasting. And yes, this isn't NASCAR, it's iRacing. But if it wasn't for Ken, who knows, with people like myself and other iRacing broadcasters, and maybe even, obviously, I should say, not even maybe, obviously, NASCAR broadcasters for radio, TV, journalists, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. And I speak for myself when I say, obviously, thank you, Ken. Rest in peace. Thoughts and prayers with the families, a family of Ken Squire. But the man always had his way of describing things. When it came from the look of a track to the setting to the racing, it was all like reading a book. And only he could do it that way. I just tried to do it in an ad-lib style. And even then, I was like, that did okay. But needless to say, what Ken did was amazing. And he's an icon. And if you ask me right now who goes up on Mount Rushmore for NASCAR, he goes up there just for the fact of, if there wasn't no Ken Squire, there would not have been a Daytona 500 in 1979. And who knows where we'd be right now in the broadcasting world. Just putting it out there. So, all right. Anyways, let's go get ready for qualifying here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. 2 laps as per usual. We'll see who can put themselves up here on the pole. The final Mike Husby Design Pole Award that will be given away in 2023. And I think in order for us to do this, we should go ride with Mike Husby. There he is in that 19 Dodge for CX2. Now, Homestead is one of those tracks you can run bottom to top, and I think you're going to see a lot of guys do that tonight. However, the bottom is going to be the way to go in the long run, just like Mike's doing right there. He's painting it. And that is because we don't totally have the 9. He's got that thing all kinds of sideways. As he goes to the pole with a 33.05 as McWhirter jumps up there in the 73 car. No, I didn't miss you at all. There's McWhirter in the 73 car. Last time he was out here, he darn near went to victory lane in this series. As Zach Henry jumps to the pole until a second ago. Actually, that's practice. There's my stuff getting intertwined again. There we go. Update yourselves. Mark Wheatley, 32.74, goes to the pole by a lot over McWhirter. Christopher Heller. There's Carrington, 32.82. He's not going to be too thrilled with that. Yeah, that's a cool story, Steve. I think wasn't he the track announcer there for New Hampshire for a little bit, like after he retired from TV? Not just 2015. I think he did a couple years there, didn't he? I know. Obviously, he started his career at Thunder Road and went from there. Jonathan Smith, P8 right now. Let's check on Josh Dillon. Josh scored his career best first top 5 finish here at this track as Josh crosses the line, and he is P6. You saw Zach Henry jump up there to P2, 32.8. As we still got some other cars out there on track. Here's Nick Leo. Oh, absolutely. Do me a favor if you guys could, and let me know the audio of the cars tonight, because I had an update on my computer, so I've had to go work on some of the settings of volumes and stuff like that. So just make sure you guys can hear the cars tonight. There's your Season 6 Rookie of the Year, Kyle Ethier, who just logged in P6 in the 60 car. So nice job by Kyle. And congratulations on the Rookie of the Year championship for him. He's one of a few different champions that have already been named in the series here this season. Matthew Weeks, P10 with a 33.13 second lap. Let's check on the Stanley Steamer. Thomas Stanley. Thomas ran in the Saturday Night League I broadcasted last week at Chicagoland. Those guys put on a fun show. And believe it or not, Thomas ran better over there than he has over here. Just putting it out there. I'm damn sure he's going to hate me for that comment, but hey. Jordan Owens jumps to 11th, 33.10. Good lap for him. As we get ready to wrap up qualifying, looks like pretty much all the cars have finished up qualifying. And I'm going to show you the point standings here really quickly as we get ready for the 5-minute warm-up session. As the points look like this. You see that circle? That is the overall standings right there for some reason. Let me... Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and show that. So that's the overall standings. And Casey was nice enough to circle it for us. So you see the 3 cars that are in contention. And that's Heller, Carrington, and Weeks. So Heller finishes top 10 tonight. He will beat Weeks Carrington for the championship here tonight in the overall 2023 season. So Heller potentially going to be the second different champion that we crown here tonight. That is where we are in the overall points for the 2023 season. There's your team points as of right now. 25-11, as you see, has pretty much walked away with that championship. So congratulations to the 25-11 team on winning that title over CX2 and TI. Those guys are going to battle hard for the second position. But the problem is we have some people who are not here tonight. I know, for instance, Stephen Miles is not here tonight. So I think that's going to play a role when this thing is all said and done here potentially this evening. Let's go back to the regular point standings, because this is now breaking news to us. Officially crowned the Season 6 champion, Mark Whitley, is the champion, and then we will celebrate that at the end of the race. But Mark does have that pressure off his shoulders here tonight. Basically, all he needed was less than 30 cars to show up, and Mark Whitley has won the championship. However, you see there's that battle for second between Carrington and Henry. Heller will likely, potentially... actually will move up to 4th in points, and it looks like Stephen Miles will fall to at least 6th in the overall standings before it is all said and done here tonight. So congratulations to the 77 car. We'll talk to him after the race. We won't ruin he's probably thinking straight right now with the race going on, but the pressure no longer on him. And you can see by the drawings, Kyle Ethier won the championship, obviously, on the Rookie of the Year side. So congratulations to him. And manufacturer-wise, Chevrolet has won the championship over everyone else. So congratulations to Team Chevy on their victory. So that pretty much sets it all up here for us tonight in this race. As we'll get ready to go 200 miles and 134 laps. This is actually a shortened version. This used to be a 250-mile race back in the heyday. And that was shortened down to 200 miles, so a little bit shorter tonight could play a role in strategy. I know fuel mileage tonight, 35 to 40 laps, so looks like a 3-stopper on the way to the on their way to the end of the race. Loose is the word, though. I'm getting a lot of people breaking loose over off of turn 2 and turn 4. Of course, the transitions of this multi-banked track. 18 at the bottom, 19 in the middle, 20 at the top, progressive banking. And turn 2, I'm going to take another. I've been using a lot of Ken Squire-isms here the last couple of days. Turn 2, Calamity Corner, if you will, here at Homestead with that bump. in the turn there, so that is going to be interesting to see what happens in that area. But turn 2, you can call Calamity Corner here this evening. Maybe tonight with Whitley winning the championship, I call him that Whitley boy. There you see two of the CX2 boys of Husby and Carrington as they practice their pit stops. Very tricky to get on pit road here. You don't have to use the access road in 3 and 4. However, you do have to use the access road in 1 and 2 to get back on the track. And the blue line is back off of turn number 2, basically, when it's all said and done here. So, but I do appreciate everybody who's watching here tonight. I saw us up to 17 viewers already, so that's pretty cool. Of course, this was the race, I think, was this the race last week, or was it the Wednesday race? I can't remember. I went over 1,000 subscribers on iRacing, and I am forever grateful for that, for those who contributed. I know Steve did a lot of work to make that happen, so appreciate that. And we're just going to continue to grow. And I'm actually working on some stuff right now. I've already put out some posts out to the leagues that I broadcast for as we wrap up 2023 here in the next couple weeks. The only 2 leagues we'll have left will be a Monday league and the Wednesday league that I broadcast for. And obviously the Monday league will be done in 3 weeks. And then Wednesday will go throughout the holidays. But once we're done with that, we're done with 2023. And we'll have a couple weeks off basically. And during that time period, I'm actually talking to people, or at least I've put it out there, going to work on some new things for the broadcast, and want to continue to grow this league, or I keep saying league, grow the broadcast, and so on and so forth into the future. So got some ideas in mind what I want to do, and we'll see where it goes when it's all said and done. So if you're interested and want to help out with something you're maybe good at doing, if it's finding me somebody to do the national anthem, or music maybe for next season, or whatever. If you know a band, I'm always listening for anybody who wants to come on here and do their thing. So I'm just going to stick that out there for everyone right now. All right, let's go to the grid, because we are gridding for the final time here in the season. Roger, I heard you got good singing, boy. Got some pipes there on you, buddy, huh? You got cross pipes? All right, starting lineup for the Miami 200 here in Homestead is Mark Whitley on the pole. Zach Henry, arguably 2 of the fastest cars this season. We'll start there, run 1 and 2. Casey Carrington, Joseph McWhorter in row 2. Row 3, Dylan Rosenberg, his best career start so far in the series. Kyle Ethier, the Rookie of the Year, there in row 3. Josh Dillon, Christopher Heller. Of course, Chris, top 10 finish for him tonight, and he will be the overall champion for 2023. Mike Husby, Thomas Stanley in row 5. Row 6, Jordan Owens and Matthew Weeks in that Mountain Dew car. Row 7, Jackson Van Pelton, Jonathan Smith. Row 8, Sean Cassidy, Nick Leo. Row 9, Craig Martin, Justin Ray. Nick Terrell, Terry Freer in his huge screen apparently he's got now at his house, according to Discord. And John Kreidler, Alex Penn making a return tonight. After the last time we saw Alex Penn, he was subbing for Mike Husby in the 19 car and took the car to victory lane for his first career win in the series. Race information tonight. Again, 78 degrees, 75% humidity, typical Florida. It's hot, or steamy, I should say. 134 laps, 200 miles. Around this 1.5 mile track. I'm waiting to see if the pace car lights do come on. They usually get an extra lap here of pacing, but I don't know if we're going to see it as pace car or truck turns off. So here we go. Let's go green. Final time in 2023 in Season 6. It's the All-American Cup Series on the Captain Esports Network. Oh, one car on the outside wall back there already. It's Alex Penn, I think. Another car up in the wall up here off turn in 1 and 2. Kyle Ethier. What in the world is going on here? The Rookie of the Year has racked at a couple others. Anyways, our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. They're online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. Race off of 4. Zach Henry leads. As Kyle Ethier comes to pit road. Mark Whitley's gone to the front there in front of the 70 or the 39. There's the 73 at McCorder. Obviously Carrington right there with him. Dylan Rosenberg. Your top 5. Ethier has gotten to a stall, but he's going to have a lot of damage to fix. Let's go back to the start. I mean, that was just UGLI, unfortunately. See, green flag comes out here as you see the battle for third. And let's start back here at Alex Penn because I see some issues. Whoever that is, that Terry Frere there in that 46? Oh, there's a checkup right there with Matthew Weeks, a couple others, and yeah, there's the 46 in the outside wall. And up here, Kyle Ethier is in the outside wall, like right in front of Thomas Stanley and everybody. I mean, Kyle's right there on his own. Did he just break loose into one? Sure did. Look at the back end. Get squirrely and oh, into the outside wall hard. I mean, it's just kind of a weird way to start a race, I'd say. Let's go back here. Josh Dillon. And Jackson Van Pelt, the 07 and the 12. See 9th and 10th positions there, 8th and 9th actually. Dylan up there towards the top already. You see Van Pelt at the bottom. The bottom is the way to go around this track. However, you can go anywhere around here. And of course, if it was real life, I don't even know if the bottom would be mentioned in a sentence. And by the way, I mentioned earlier, TrackCams22.com. Big shout out to those guys. 10 years now of building cameras for tracks. I actually went in and purchased the updated road course cameras this past week for a broadcast I had at the Chicago Street Course. And if you're one that runs road courses or whatever, you can check out their cameras. They have off-road cameras now for those who run the stadium trucks and so on and so forth. So congrats, It's Fan, for 10 years of hard work and putting on some of the most realistic cameras you will see on a simulator right here. Dylan Rosenberg trying to hold off Christopher Heller in the 8 car. Mike Husby right back there behind him as you see them all painting that white line at the bottom. Heller doing a better job of getting the run off the bottom there of 3 and 4, letting the car slide up to the outside of the 96 he goes. Husby looking for somewhere also. Heller makes the pass. There is the 19 going with him there of Husby. As Whitley starts to pull away on his teammate there by about 0.8 of a second. Ever since Roger Pierce said, we're going to go and win this thing. Oh, yeah. He's pulled away. A little 4-car battle here with Van Pelt. There's Jordan Owen in the 20. Matthew Weeks there in the 11. All around the 8th position right now. As the lights are about fully on here in Homestead. on board with Matthew Weeks. So I wonder when iRacing is ever going to add the air hose to the helmets. None of these drivers have air conditionings, and we're in 75% humidity, 78 degrees in Homestead. I mean, they got the moving dial fixed over here. This blue dial don't move anymore. See pretty much everybody down the bottom side. I will say there was one setup change, by the way, this week. I know, talking to Casey, apparently there's a lower gear in here just to keep the engine from really screaming down the straightaways. Apparently that has been an issue in some of these cars, which, of course, you go back to the, was it 950 horsepower these cars had? The Gen 4s did right before the end. I mean, those cars were 96, 9700 down the straightaways. Of course, I was actually more of a fan when these cars were running like 91, 9200 and stuff back in the heyday. So 13 laps complete, 19 and a half miles in the books in this Miami 200. The final race you're going to see on the Captain Esports Network pretty much until a week from Monday. Just a note, by the way, if you guys don't see me on the air for a couple of days, that is why. Might do some AI stuff, obviously, like I like to do, but otherwise, there will be no league racing on the Captain Esports Network until a week from Monday, with Thanksgiving coming, and I'm actually going out of town tomorrow morning for a couple days. For those who don't know, I kind of live on my own right now in Indiana, and family's in Georgia, and we're going to go see each other down in... Whoa, where's Jordan Owens going? He dropped the Hot Pocket over here in turn 2. Good save on his part. Hey, you too, Kyle Ether. Go play some Call of Duty or something. You know, his race is done, by the way. And yeah, he's already bailed out of here. I was going to say if you wanted to chat for a second about his Rookie of the Year title, but yeah, I mean, you won Rookie of the Year, and I figured you're going to run away, so, I mean, I'll give you a chance to talk about it there for a second. So, as the battle here with Weeks starting to whirl his way up here through the field, up to the 8th position, Jackson Van Pelt on his inside. Weeks, you know, is going to be really good here on the long run. Biggest mover so far in this race, you go back to the 13th position. John Kreidler had started last, or pretty much in last, and has that Wolf number 99 up to the 13th position as he catches the 72 car. Wolf down there on that bottom. As you see, a lot of cars have moved to the top, which kind of surprises me. All right, going to pull the Rookie of the Year up here and have a quick word with him as Kyle Ether joins us. Kyle, obviously a rookie move, if you will, in turn 1 here to start the race. But needless to say, you've won the Rookie of the Year, so I wanted to say congratulations on that. And that's got to feel pretty good to join that list.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I got in turn one, got loose, and I didn't want to wreck the field, so I just wrecked myself. So at least I made a good rookie move, if you will. But
About time.
but no, it's been fun. Loving this league, and felt like I was getting better and better each week. So it only made sense for me to wreck out on lap one here after I had gotten on the radio to say let's go caution free.
You've said the words. That'll do that. But nonetheless, man, obviously a successful year. What has been some things you've learned with running with these guys?
Well, I've always been kind of a long run guy, and it seems like I have to work on my long runs with these guys. So they're putting me to work, that's for sure. Just just managing tires, I think, is the main thing. A lot of green flag racing. So I mean, a couple of races, I think, we went caution free. So you just gotta be on your toes. I'm someone who makes a decent amount of pit mistakes, and I made a couple of those on those green races that cost me. So just cleaning it up all around.
You mentioned hard work here, watching the battle for second with McWhorter, Henry, and Carrington, as these guys run pretty much 2 or 3 different lanes. Oh, and McWhorter up in the wall there. The spotter must not have told him that there's a wall out there. Good job, Roger. But needless to say, tough break for him. He'll fall back to at least the 4th position. Husby going to put some pressure on here for that. But no, man, it's obviously cool to see you winning the Rookie of the Year title, obviously, as you go to next season, season 7. You get a couple months off here. And, you know, any plans for the off season while you got some time here?
Well, probably just hanging out. Probably take some time off, spend it with the family for the holidays. The other league, as you well know, is also off until the new year that I race in. So just want to also give a shout out to TI for bringing me on, for Chris, for Miles, Miller. I had a lot of fun with them and working with them, and coming to the other side, if you will. And hopefully we got them back, and run. Me and Miles, I think, are really close everywhere. If it weren't for the mistakes, I think I could have been right with him in points. So that's my goal, I guess, for the next season.
Well, he might or might not say something about practice. That might fix that issue. But anyways, nice job, man. Congratulations, and you are the Season 6 Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, thanks, Chris, and yeah, thanks to Casey for putting it all together, and Joseph for adminning, and everybody that works to put this thing on. The Scalicast, as always, was great, and can't wait to go watch the rest of this one from the couch.
The question is, do people really know what the Scalicast is?
Do they? That's the real question.
Yes.
Some do.
It's coming. Let's put it like that.
Ooh.
So, anyways.
Coming soon.
Yes. All right, man. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, buddy. Kyle Ethier, the Rookie of the Year here in the All-American Cup Series for this season. As we watch a spirited battle, Mike Cusby and McWhorter. Not giving anyone McKitchens, if you will. And yes, that is a tease. Oh, look out, boys. As Ethier's actually coming back on track, it looks like. But that is a tease for people, by the way, what I said there at the end. What is a Scalicast? It's obviously a term that Kyle has come up with for these broadcasts, but there's an actual Scalicast coming soon. And you'll know what it is in the near future. And it's something a lot of people have been asking me to do. Yeah, it's coming. Mark Whitley leads by 2.5 seconds, by the way, over Zach Henry. I don't know. What would happen if you Googled? That'd be interesting. Zach Henry second, Casey Carrington third, Mike Husby now 4th, and McWhorter back to the 5th position. You don't want me doing that, Aaron. Good to see you, by the way. So everybody's pretty spread out here. You got the blinking Jonathan Smith, another Harpoon design car. Is Brantley Roden doing a Jim Smith impersonation from 2000 and... I think it was 2002. Was that the year where Brendan Gaughan got wrecked? He told him he can kiss his fanny. So Weeks has caught Heller here for the 5th position. As we're going to be coming up on green flag pit stops here in just a few moments. About 35 to 40 laps on a tank of fuel, 134. You divide that by, let's just call it 40. And you're going to need to be able to go, I should say you're going to look at about you're going to need 3 stops to get to the finish of this race. So at that point, where do you split this race up? Because 134 from 4, off the top of my head here. I mean, 120 is 3, would be 30. Somewhere around 33-ish laps, I guess. Yeah, 33, 66, 99, and then 35 to the end. Yeah, somewhere around 33, 34 laps you can do if you split the race in quads, if you will. 3 stops. But who am I to talk about pit strategies? As the battle for second, Casey Carrington has caught the back end of Zach Henry here. Carrington's moved up to the top. You see Henry running about the middle, which back when iRacing... Oh, there's Calamity Corner for you. Henry getting a little loose off there. When iRacing first came out with Homestead, I remember when that happened. That part of the track, right about, well, Henry slid off the bottom. Oh, and Carrington got the wall a little bit there. But right above the seam in turn 1 and 2, and turn 3 and 4 was the way to get around this track. But ever since then, they've opened it up a little bit, and now you can run almost anywhere around this track. And they haven't even gotten to the dynamic track yet, which is set to roll out. Thomas Stanley's on pit road.
Good, man.
There we go. I want to make sure I had the audio on for the guys so I can hear them. Unfortunately, you're not going to hear them, but I will. Well, I want to go back real quickly and talk about the updating next season type thing. I have plans for the broadcast to grow. I want to get more involved socially, social media-wise. I don't really get to do much because of my work schedule. Graphic-wise, I want to update stuff. You know, I want to be able to do more content on the streams. I've already mentioned the Scalicast. If you haven't figured it out by now what that is. I love this view, by the way. I would like to, obviously, if somebody has an artist out there they know, a band or something like that, a group or whatever that wants to promote themselves and get themselves out there, I'm giving them an opportunity. They can do that. You know, if anybody wants to, if anybody knows anybody that goes out and like sings the national anthem and stuff like that, you can do that. I might approach you, Brantley. So I'm also willing to put sponsors on the stream. So if anybody wants to promote their companies and stuff, come hit me up. So next year is going to be the biggest year of Captain Esports Network for 2024. Now that my schedule is pretty much set and I know what hours are for me working, you know, I can finally kind of sit back and say, all right, here we go. This is what we're going to do. And know I can do this without hurting myself stream-wise. Because that's been my biggest fear when I try to do things on streams. Some of the longer pre-races or whatever. It's sometimes or somehow time would end up being against me. And I would end up not being able to do it. So we're going to make it big. And I think that's part of what's hurt me number-wise on the stream to slow down my growth, I guess, if you will. As Casey Carrington has come to pit road now at laps 37, and apparently his Magic Eraser erased the damage off the right side of his car. Might have to investigate in that with his with the All-American admins. So lap 36, here comes the 9 to pit road. Should be 4 tires and fuel for the Dodge squad. Husby's on pit road. So is Jackson Van Pelt. You see the 73 is in. 4 tires and fuel for all. And everybody pulls away. Jonathan Smith on pit road, John Kreidler, Josh Dillon, as I mentioned, Alex Penteri, Frere. And the question going to be, when does the 77 come to pit road here? And he's going to turn left right now and come to pit road. '77 coming down to his pit crew and crew chief Rantley Broden. Here see Zach Henry in there with him, Christopher Heller, Matthew Weeks, Jordan Owens, all these guys on pit road. That hands the lead to Nick Terrell, who leads a lap here, gets a bonus point as Whitley pulls away, 15.2. There comes Carrington, going to try the undercut here on the 77. Close, but no cigar there. Whitley sends it down there into turn 3 and 4. Still got to get his tires up to temp. That might help Carrington here. And Carrington does lead at the line. And then Whitley just sends her down in there. So just like that, pit stop's done. Brings these 4 together as we check out this battle for the 11th position here. Jordan Owens, there's the 72 also of Smith and Dillon. You look up ahead of them, John Kreidler continues to work through the field up to the 10th position after starting in the 21st spot in that 99 car, that Jeff Purvis throwback, if you will. Got a battle here, and then look back here at the 4th position. 3rd and 4th is Mike Husby and Zach Henry. Oh, one thing, you know what? One other factor, and I want to put this out. I just thought about this too, because I really haven't written down everything I want to do, but I know in my head what I want to do. But the other thing I do want to do, I looked down there at that photo of Mike Husby. If anyone knows a animated website where people can go in and literally, like, I know of one that I did recently, and I mean, it could work if you want to, but if there's one that you can actually go in and create a character of yourself, let me know what that website is, because I want to go investigate it. I think it'd be really cool if all the drivers in the series I broadcast for had characters at the bottom down there of themselves. So Whitley leads in lap 44 as he tries to catch the back of the 81 of Nick Terrell, who was the last car to come to pit road. Trying to stay out there and stay on the lead lap. Everybody but Terry Frere has stayed on the lead lap for those who have not crashed. Oh, never mind, Thomas Stanley's 3 laps down. I just noticed that in the 62 car. So nightfall has officially happened here at Homestead. It's the wrong button. You see track temp at 80 degrees right now, so it's gotten cooler. And one thing I learned as this track does get cooler, it does seem to favor the bottom a lot more on iRacing, and now you're seeing everybody pretty much going painting. Bob Ross style down on the bottom. So, as we race right now, I know we still got 90, almost 80 laps to go in this race. This is starting to get really interesting at the overall point standings between Carrington and Heller. And I say that because according to the numbers and stuff that were done by our stats person in the series, he said that Heller had to finish in the top 10 to win the championship in the points. Well, the person who's second in the overall point standings is Casey Carrington, who is second in the race. And you look down at 8th right now, Heller's there. And you worry if Heller were to fall back another 2 or 3 spots in this race, that overall battle gets really interesting after 28 races, huh? Which reminds me of one of the cool things I've had a chance to see lately. There is a NASCAR page on social media, on Twitter especially, and they actually keep track of the point standings of the old Winston Cup points. And one of the cool things that I got to see this week is they showed what the point standings would have looked like at the end of the 2023 season. And while I'm looking at that graphic, I'm able to see the other years. And this season, it would have been a 17-point separation between Byron and I forget who was second in points overall when it was over, if it was Kyle Larson or something, in the actual point standings if they would not had a playoff. It shows you, like, how tight the battles would be and stuff for the points. As a matter of fact, Kevin Harvick would be like a 4-time champion now. As Weeks gets around the 19 for 4th. Let's take you through the field here and show you where everyone runs right now. Is one car. Whitley about just got hit by him. The 46 goes around to Terry Frere. No caution. He's too far off the track to get a caution. That almost, I mean, Mark Whitley, if I don't know if Brantley said anything right now, but Brantley's probably sweating. He gets up there in the outside wall, pulls himself off, gets up there in the wall again, and yikes! That was a lot closer than I thought. So he kept it under the white line there. And then this goes back to that conversation we've had. You go back to, what was it, earlier this season, there was the spin at Chicagoland somebody had, I forget what it was, and he was like way off the track, but the caution come out. And yet here at Homestead, the guy spins onto the apron on the front stretch and no caution. That right there kind of tells you the, I don't want to use the word inconsistencies because that sounds negative, but the differences of tracks, the way the settings are for cautions, if you will. All right, so we were starting to go through the field, so let's do that now. Mark Whitley leading this race. He's dominated. 4-second lead now over Casey Carrington. Of course, Mark officially now the champion of this series. Congratulations to him. Casey Carrington, as mentioned, running second. And right there, nibbling at the heels of Whitley throughout the season. But I think I could speak for Casey when I say this. There have been some races towards the end of this season where he has hurt himself with some pit stop strategies and stuff like that. So Casey looking to finish off the season with a good run here in the second position right now. Zach Henry, third position for him. Zach having a fantastic season. As he is third in points right now. He's only 3 behind Carrington. So right now, he and the 9 car running for second in points. And they're literally neck and neck here in 3 and 4. So that battle could get really interesting as Kyle Ether about lost it off the corner. Matthew Weeks in the 11 car, 4th position for him. Matthew doing a good job for the Season 4 champion. Horse was up there in points, had some issues last week at Richmond, and looking to finish this off with a good run tonight. Mike Husby, that 19 car. Mike is 7.7 seconds back in the race right now. Of course, that 19 car did go to victory lane earlier this season at Watkins Glen. However, that driver was Alex Penn that race. And hello, Amy. Appreciate your thoughts. Yeah, and a lot of people were Gordon fans, especially back in his heyday. Joseph McCorder in the 73 car, 9 seconds back. There's Jackson Van Pelt, the 07 car, the Busch Beer sponsored car. Of course, those colors will be on the 1 car next season. Ross Chastain, noticed in Victory Lane this past week at Phoenix, he actually were celebrating with Busch Beers already, so he kind of got a head start on it. As you saw Heller there get to his back bumper. As Chris is right behind him there, 8th position for him in the 8 car. Safe to say that Chris has suffered the championship jinx that I think if you're Mark Whitley, you might worry about next season. The champion the last couple of seasons, at least since I've been here for the broadcast, has been on the struggle bus a little bit in the early part of the season and had to play catch up. So it happened to the 8 car this season with Heller, and he has had to fight and claw to where he is in points. And obviously he would say it's not been easy. And by the way, Mrs. Heller, if you're watching here tonight, appreciate you being a supporter of the broadcast and stuff. And of course, I know you're more here to cheer on your son, but I do appreciate you coming by and saying hello every week to you. Or to me. If you say hello to yourself, I guess that would be okay too. Jordan Owens could say that this has maybe been a breakout season for the 20 car, and not only on the racetrack, but in real life. Man, went and got married in the middle of the season. Took a couple weeks off and had a sub driver, but Jordan coming back, running top 10. He's been almost a top 10 car every week. Congratulations, he and his wife now, and hopefully they'll enjoy their first holidays together. Jonathan Smith in the 72 car, running the 10th position right now. And that is 18 seconds back. Dylan Rosenberg, who's scraping up the wall in this 96 car, had his best career starting spot tonight of 5th. But unfortunately, that car is taking a turn for the worse, unfortunately. It's fallen all the way back to the 12th position now as he just got passed by John Kreidler. Right there in front. And, of course, John, as I've said about 150 times this season, running a Jeff Purvis throwback. For those who watched the Busch Series back in the mid-2000s, Jeff Purvis drove a number 37 Wolf paint scheme and unfortunately was severely injured in a crash at Nazareth. He got hit broadside too, as I'm picturing the wreck in my head right now. I just forget who's the one that hit him. Over in turn 2. But the 99 doing a great job. I can't remember my name either, if it makes you feel better, Amy. Josh Dillon running in the 13th position. Josh, the longest tenured driver to not lead a lap in series history. Of course, he broke that streak a few weeks ago when he finally led a lap after I called him out on it. Roger, where are you at in Ohio? I might come and throw something at you. I actually go into Ohio with the route I run on Saturdays. I've, believe it or not, delivered in the turbines of near Van Wert a couple times on Saturdays. Alex Penn, there's the Watkins Glen winner back in his 30 car. It's the first time I think we've seen a Porsche all season on track. Of course, Alex and his brother, big-time road racing fans. His brother's been the admin all season, but I don't think Joe is here tonight. Gotcha. Here's Nick Leo, 15th position for him. Nick is 29 seconds back, so he's actually probably the next car to get lapped here. I'm looking over to the right to see if I see Whitley or not. But I do not. But Nick right now in the 15th position for him, so probably not this season. He's been wanting in that Jewel car, but doing a good job. And there is the 22. There's the 22 of Craig Martin running it in the 16th position. Craig keeping the mustache on his car there this week, I noticed, or what looks to be a mustache. As you see the leader there coming up behind him there, that's him in the 16th position. Sean Cassidy, the Georgia Tech number 49 car. Not sure if he's, I've never had a chance to talk to him, but I'm not sure if he's a student at the school or just a fan of the school or whatever. But here he is in the 17th position. So 68 laps complete there. You see Sean Cassidy, Justin Ray there in a 38. Oh, Sean! Yikes! The Ramblin' Wreck about wrecked. Justin Ray in a 38 car running 18th right now. You see all these cars a lap down. Nick Terrell, by the way, the other car left on track. Stanley still out there running laps, and so is Kyle Ethier. However, I divert your attention to the second place battle, as Casey Carrington and Matthew Weeks battle for second now. I said that Matthew had a good long run car, and here he's showing it. Oh boy, we're back to the rubbers, huh? Oh, good grief. Anybody know a representative of Rubbermaid or something? Maybe we can get them as a sponsor for next season. So, Roger, are you part of the military? Is that what you're stationed in Tennessee? If so, I won't ask where you are, because I know you have to keep that kind of stuff like classified or whatever. Which, by the way, we're coming up on a second round of pit stops here. We're at lap 70. We're past the halfway point. Good for you, man. Appreciate what you do. Yeah, but I know, like, some people can't really say, like, if they're at, like, Fort Benning or the Fort Hood, and I think that's the one in Texas or whatever. Like, you have to be, like, kind of... As John Kreidler comes to pit road here from the 12th position. So there you go. Went through the field with everybody and no caution for it. That was good. Weeks gets in there pretty deep. Carrington with a wide arc. Weeks had to get out of it there a little bit. These two, they've had their heated rivalry on track. They got a lot of respect amongst each other. But when they get racing and something happens, it happens. Carrington has keyed the mic and said, "Hey, I'm not trying to brake check you, man. I'm just trying to get in the corner." That just shows you how much it seems like maybe Weeks is better than Carrington in the corner. As you see, down to the bottom goes the 11 car. So most of them came at 37 and 38, which means from about next lap to the next probably 3 or 4 laps, you're going to see the pit stops here for the second round. All right, starting to hear about pit stops. Josh Dillon's on pit road. Nick Leo is in. Carrington's calling his way to pit road right now. Let's see if Leo comes with them. Not able to. Mike Cusby coming in with him. I think Carrington called a late pit stop there just to keep Weeks on the track to maybe undercut him. There's that radio name again. What in the world? Four tires and fuel, and there goes Carrington off pit road. A couple others leaving. Obviously, top 3 have not pitted yet. Jordan Owens coming in right now in the 20 car. And so is Jonathan Smith. As Craig Martin comes down. So just waiting for the leaders, really. Everybody's been on pit road except for 5 of the top 6. And I think you're going to see the leaders coming in this time by. At least if Whitley's pitting, he's all the way. He's trying to pull a middle lane pit stop here. Harpoon signs number 77 coming in. Brant, let me challenge you for a second here, buddy. I'm just thinking out loud here, and it's not an opinion or anything. I'm just curious. The number on that car, what if you were to try a white outline? Not even like, you see the gold on there is perfect, but the white with that gold, or whatever color that is. Just a thought. All right, so Carrington going to try the undercut again here on the 77. This time he's going to get him. So Carrington trying to get that bonus point so that he can add to his advantage over Zach Henry. He went straight Jerry Seinfeld on the old lady for the lead there. He said, "Give me that Marlboro Rye, you old bag." Except Whitley's not that old. course, if people don't ever got a chance, never have had a chance to watch Seinfeld, you've missed a fantastic TV show of the 90s. One that you'd be surprised how many people made appearances in that TV show that you were like, wait a minute, that was so-and-so from this show. That was so-and-so from this show. For instance, the old lady from the Marble Rye episode I just referenced was their grandma and Happy Gilmore. As Nick Terrell comes to pit road. It's very clean and very precise. And Whitley putting he put all everything but the bumper pretty much just went to Casey there off turn 2. And not that he was trying to, it's just they're both literally running identical lines because that's the way to get around this track right now. I mean, I described this in the race Monday night that I broadcasted from here. Basically, the way this track is being used right now on iRacing, think of yourself driving down a 6-lane highway, and you have to funnel down the 1 lane going into the corner. And you got walls on both sides. That is almost how you have to drive the corners here at Homestead, especially that inside lane. Watch how Mark just literally sticks it down below that seam right on the bottom. Well, of course, he misses it by a half. Well, then he got back down to it. But you literally have a wall, if you will, on both sides, and you cannot hit them. Either you're trying to stay out of the... Well, that's one way of getting out of everybody's way. As Owens battles with the 07 for position. You see the lap times, you can see kind of the difference between those who have went long on their pit strategy and those who maybe have tried the undercut. You see the 21 there on Whitley, the 76 for Carrington, the 18, the 32, all the different lap times there. Up on the board there as you see the 07 complete the pass on the 20. And the crossover coming from Owens. So 20 viewers, and I appreciate you guys who are checking us out here tonight. For those who have been with us throughout the All-American Cup Series season. Of course, this was actually the first full year that we covered. Last year, if you remember, I came on board at the start of season 4. And been here now for the last year and a half. So Whitley, Weeks now up to second as Weeks went by Carrington just a second ago. And Josh Dillon with issues has had to tow to pit road. Not sure what happened to Josh Dillon, but his 12 car, unfortunately, has gone behind the wall. So back here to McCorder, and he and Mike Husby are battling for position. It's the 5th spot. So what's everybody doing for Thanksgiving? course, I've always been a traditionalist of the 4 Fs. Family, fun, football, or maybe it's 3 Fs. Family, fun, food. Family, fun, football, food. Now, obviously, with our work schedule with FedEx, that's why kind of this weekend, the meeting and stuff with the family in Tennessee, it's, kind of like a Thanksgiving for us, because Thursday, it's our one day off for the week. We get the day off for Thanksgiving, but unless you're, like, around people here, you're pretty much right back to work on Friday. So, and of course, it's Black Friday, in case you didn't know. And you got, let's see, what else you got? You got Small Town Saturday, you got Cyber Monday, you got Terrible Tuesdays, Whacked Out Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursday, all the different days that you get package ordering and stuff. Martin having a little bit of blinking issues. Now, the one thing I have noticed is Matthew Weeks has been able to maintain lap time with Whitley. So for him to be only 1.8 seconds back, and not to mention started 12 positions back from Whitley, and has been able to get up here to within this margin, I think there's a legit shot here for this 11 car to go to victory lane here tonight. But of course, 42 laps to go. You still got the one more stop that's going to come somewhere in the next 25 laps. Which here's where the strategy move can come into play, because now with everybody pitting around 72 to, or actually 70 to, oh, please don't say that out loud. 70 to 77. You start to think lap-wise, 134 from 70 obviously is 64. Split the run in half is 32. So if you pit it early, you're going to have to go all the way on fuel. But where you come in at 77 or 78, actually it looks like 77 was the last lap. So Whitley and Weeks and those guys that came at 77, you almost have a little bit more of a window to say, hey, I can split this in half. With McCorder looking back at Husby. Actually, you know what? I am glad you said that, Amy. You know what the one memory of Dallas I have on Thanksgiving is? If you're a football fan, you know where I'm going with this. The year was 1994. Dallas somehow had snow at the old Texas Stadium. And they were playing the old Miami Dolphins. Dolphins went to kick the winning field goal, and the kick was blocked. Now, in professional football, if a field goal or punt or whatever is blocked, the ball still has to be touched by the receiving team in order for the kicking team to recover the ball for it to be their ball. There was a defensive lineman named Leon Lett who proceeded, after the ball was blocked and was literally sitting there collecting dust, to go up there and try to recover said football. Need I remind you again, there was snow on the ground. So as you know, he slid into the ball goes sliding, gets recovered by the Dolphins, where kicker Pete Stoyanovich then nailed the field goal to win the game on Thanksgiving Day in Dallas. I think I just lost a viewer. That's Craig Martin. I don't know if he's putting too much pressure or trying not to put too much pressure on Husby there. I mean, Husby is all over the back of McWhorter for position here. You see Husby getting his nose a little bit down there in that cleaner air. I mean, McWhorter's got that car in all types of yaw. Oh, I'm sure a lot of fans were that day, Amy. I'm not, you know, I don't know if you were alive at that time or whatever. That's your business. I'm not, you know, obviously going to get into that, but a lot of people, like I was 8 at that time, remember that game pretty well. That's who I was trying to get to. 94. So the battle about to be on for third here as Carrington has fallen back to the clutches of Zach Henry. And you know what? Something that has just crossed my mind. I don't know what has happened, but let me jump back here. The 15th position, the 16th position, is where the unfortunate part is I don't have like spotters or whatever. Christopher Heller was on pit road at lap 97. Now, I don't know if this is a run to the finish for the 8, but right now, he is in danger. If a caution were to come out, the championship chances for him for the regular season title for all of 2023 could be in trouble here. So this battle for third is pretty important. With Heller's teammate Zach Henry and Casey Carrington here. So we're going to keep an eye on that. That battle is really, really getting tight now. And up front, Weeks has got it down to 0.4 of a second right now with Whitley. So we've got some battles coming alive here as we get later into this race. Thomas Stanley's been on and off pit road. As Alex Penn is in, 31 laps to go. I do notice Heller is starting to pass some cars back there, so obviously the fresher tires helping him out. The question going to be, though, when do these leaders come to pit road as Rosenberg and Leo are in at lap 103? You see Penn leaving pit road right now. As we get to the waning laps of this race, do want to send a shout out again. I know I've done it a few times, but want to shout out the viewers who have watched throughout the season. Also a shout out to Casey Carrington there in that 9, who has always had notes for me. Every week he sends me notes, and I mean, this guy has everything organized for me. And, I mean, shares every little thing there is to know about the track. He always has all the point standings lined up for me and stuff, so all I gotta do is walk in there and download them real quickly, and it's pretty much done with. So shout out to him on that. And I know something I haven't done recently is the track stats and stuff. But of course, the last 2 seasons, we've seen 5 and 3 cautions respectively. Tonight, haven't seen 1 yet. Knock on wood. Obviously, anything can happen in the race, but big shout out to him. Of course, Joseph Penn, who has admin the last few seasons. You know, he's done a lot of work, obviously, for the series. Big shout out to him for what he does. And, of course, the drivers is, I don't know if you saw that, 96 kind of chopped down on Henry there a little bit, got him loose. I'm sure Zach's not going to be too thrilled on that move. As we come to 27 to go, actually, here's what I'm going to do. Let's turn it up here. One last time here from Homestead. Let's actually cut back because we got a battle for the lead. I noticed Carrington had come to the pit road, and right on cue, Matthew Weeks and Mark Whitley got a battle right here at the front. Both of them getting loose off the corner. And I think Whitley's coming to pit road. I think that's why it just dropped down to give Weeks the top side. And there goes the fresh tires of Alex Penn by. Let's see if Whitley stops here. Yep, here he comes. So I'm thinking Weeks is going to be right here behind him. But final pit stops here, 24 laps to go. So Whitley 14.9 there as Weeks is now on pit road. So Matthew doing all that hard work catching that 77 car. And now mano a mano. See if Weeks can get the last word since Whitley's going to get the last lap when it's over with. Weeks pulls away 14.9. Good stop on his end, too. So both he and Whitley get a good stop, and here comes Mark. And if you look right behind him there, you see Carrington and Heller. And you see Whitley. There's the undercut of that one-lap separation. Heller's going to go to second. Carrington's going to go to third. Now, here's the note we need to know. Carrington... all these guys here pitted 108, 109, 110, 111, right in that range. Christopher Heller pitted at 97. So his tires are slightly older, and they're going to fall off. So the question is, can Heller do enough to maintain a top 10 position for the next 22 laps? And if so, he'll be the overall champion in 2023. If not, you could be looking at Casey Carrington stealing it away in the last race. All right, so now that everyone is pitted, let's turn it up here one last time. So right there, you might have saw Whitley make that move between Penn and Leo. That was actually a battle for position between those two. I think Whitley's like, let me get through here real quickly. And he's got no choice but to go, because you see that 11 car is back up to the second position and is 1.65 seconds back. Not being the 11 of Matthew Weeks. So this race not over by a long shot. You see there's first and there's second, back to that green and black car. Check back here now. Battle for the 9th spot is John Kreidler tries to hold off Jonathan Smith. You see Heller as you look over at the 5th position right now. He is there 9 seconds back. He's got a good 16 seconds before these guys right here can get to him. $14 laps to go. Taking a minute to look over some of the stats here. I click the right buttons. Whitley's getting himself up into some pretty unnecessary, I shouldn't say unnecessary, uncharted waters is the word I'm looking for here. And I just wanted to make sure before I mention those waters that I'm clear here, and it looks like it is. And it's kind of unbelievable to say this, but the most wins in a season, and that's the half seasons I should say here, is 9. And that happened, of course, back in season 1. And the closest anyone has gotten to that point is 7. And that was season 2. So you're looking at somebody here tonight that, you know, a league that is well established now for what is going to be the completion of 3 years. A driver doing something that you could easily be seen done in an early part of a league, because let's face it, you get the start and you get people in here that maybe go to town on the league and stuff and win every race and that kind of thing. It's very easy to do until you get more competition in there and so on and so forth. You know, you look at NASCAR, you look at, you know, those kind of series back in the heyday when Petty was winning everything. You know, yes, they were running 70 times a week too, but, you know, Petty did what he had to do and go winning all the races. Now you got 6 weeks later, or 6 seasons later, and you got a guy here potentially about to tie the most wins in league history in a season. You know, another way I thought about this today a little bit. You go back to 1995 in the NFL. Since 1995, okay, there have only been a handful of quarterbacks to win more than one championship. Here they are. Obviously, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Patrick Mahomes, John Elway. There's your 5 right there that have won more than one Super Bowl since 1995. 5. That's it. Now, that's 27 years, 28 years. One of those guys has won a third of them. So when you think of it from that standpoint, you find that you really picture how good Tom Brady really was. So where I'm going with that whole stat is you get later and how much harder it is to win the big games and win the big moments and things like that as you get later and later and later and later. So now we're at season 6 of this series, and this is, you know, not to build any kind of ego or something like that. It just shows you how good Mark has been this season. Back here at 9th, Jackson Van Pelt making a pass on Jonathan Smith, as Smith has continued to blink. He's been blinking most of the night. Brantley might want to get him a tinfoil hat or something. Jackson makes the pass. You see Heller back to the 7th position now. Looks like he's going to be okay. As I look at Smith right now, last time for him was a 34.58, and Heller at a 34.82. So it's about 0.3 of a second with 6 laps to go. And Heller looks like he's going to be safe to win himself the overall championship. You know, not to mention with 25-11 winning the team championship this season. Oh, Dan Barrera making an appearance. Dan, we're talking about rubbers in here. We already don't need that. Oh, for those who don't know Dan Marrera, he's one of the coolest dudes from, I forget which country it is, and he'll yell at me if I say Panama. Oh, whoops. Dude, he has no filter. You picked the right time to show up, Marrera. Whitley trying to hold off Weeks, still 0.2 of a second, 3 laps to go. You see them right there on that bottom line. By the way, Dan Marrera is the only guy in my history in a league that I've hosted that ever caused like 3 or 4 of us to wreck at one time without hitting each other because of just a joke he said. Only guy in history that has done it to us. McWhorter and Husby battling for 5th. Good to see you, Dan. Hope you're well, buddy. As Whitley takes the white flag as these two battle it out. Final lap. Weeks trying everything he can. Comes up on the lap car of Kreidler. That's going to hurt his momentum, and then Kreidler dives off. Putting a stamp on a dominant season in 2023 in Season 6. Mark Whitley ties the record for most wins in a season and wins the Season 6 All-American Cup Series Championship. Meanwhile, back here off turn 4, unofficially we'll say, because it could change, but the Ghost number 8, Christopher Heller, is the overall champion of 2023 in the All-American Cup Series. Whitley burns it down, and we'll talk to him. We'll talk to Heller. And we'll talk to the other top 3 drivers. As everybody's playing burnouts with bumper cars. You tried to ruin it really quickly. Now, this might be the only bump drafting anybody can do in this car is front end to front end. Otherwise, if they were to try to hit each other front to back, that would not end well for anybody. Heller doing a Polish victory lap there, it looks like. He can get his opportunity to celebrate, too. All right, let's take a look at the finishing order for the race here tonight as Whitley wins by 0.4 of a second over Weeks, getting his 9th win of the season. Casey Carrington finishing 3rd, Zach Henry 4th, and Mike Husby 5th. Joseph McWhorter finishes 6th. Christopher Heller wins The overall championship from 7th, Jordan Owens 8th, Jackson Van Pelt 9th, Jonathan Smith 10th, John Kreidler 11th, completing a streak of 4 straight names that start with a J from 8th through 11th. Nick Leo 12th, Dylan Rosenberg 13th, Alex Penn 14th, Justin Ray 15th, which Craig Martin 16th. Tell her you're late. Sean Cassidy 17th and Nick Terrell 18th. 19th going to Thomas Stanley. 20th Kyle Ethier. 21st Josh Dillon. And 22nd to Terry Frere. In the race. All right, let's I'm gonna go try to talk to some people here now. Basically, the joke for those on the stream, anytime Marrero shows up, I usually go and message Matt Telder. He's like my adult, so to say, to come in here and control or tries to control Marrero, or escalates things, I should say. And let's talk to our top 3 drivers here. Touche. And we'll start to our third place finisher here tonight. The runner-up, it looks like, in the point standings on both ends. The runner-up in overall and in the regular season championship. It's still a great season for Casey Carrington as he continues each season, it seems like, to get better and better in the point standings. Got a few more wins this season. And obviously that's something to be happy about throughout, but just a tough run here tonight for you.
Well, I mean, I don't see how third's a tough run.
Well, I mean, I overheard you talking about how, like, a corner of tires and you were like 2/10 off of everybody.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's the programmer's fault, not mine. No, I mean if I hadn't put twice the gap on Henry there at the end, I would have been in a different mood. But no, I mean I don't know. I mean it was kind of fun. I mean as most fun as you can have with like 20 cars, but wish we could have had a caution or two. Go figure. But no, I mean I don't know. I guess I enjoyed myself.
Well, I know there's frustration.
Good finish. Yeah. Good finish. So I guess that's what matters. But
well, I know on the driver's side you're happy with third, and I know on the owner's side, and I'm not really going to touch it. I'm just mentioning it. I know you're frustrated on that end. So, but needless to say, you and Heller had a pretty good battle too, and Chris kind of went a little unorthodox, I noticed, and pitted at lap 97. I overheard you say in chat, Chris, did you pit? And I really had no other way of yelling to you. Yeah, he did, but he did at lap 97, and it was kind of like one of those where he's going to take the L, but at the same time, just maintain a big enough gap to where he could fall back and still win the championship.
Yeah, he probably knew that he just had to be top 10 there to get the title. I don't know if he's watching the broadcast. I'm sure you probably mentioned it, but pretty much if he didn't wreck out tonight, especially with the small field, he had it clinched. So I knew he was struggling there, I guess, in the first run and kind of dropped back, and I was hoping maybe he'd knock the wall down or something to help me out. But yeah, I mean, there was, kind of one of those things, nothing I could really do but run my race. I was slower than the guys that finished ahead of me and faster than the guys that I finished ahead of. So I guess I was kind of just running my race there. I mean, it's always more fun when you get to pass a bunch of cars for position, but I was going out there and didn't make any mistakes. I got in there a little hot on that second pit stop and thought I was going to get a speeding, but I didn't, and almost wrecked coming out of the pits, I think, on that same stop. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain. I should be considering myself lucky for being able to still pull off third place after making the fatal error of pitting 2 laps early, because that's all that matters in this tire model. But yeah, I'm just going to be, over the course of the whole year, as far as that, yearly title, I'm just going to be thinking back to Sonoma in March. If I didn't wreck out of that race, I'm probably doing a championship speech right here, because that was, I think I was running like 12th and finished like 35th in that race. So you can do the math there and figure that out. But yeah, but I mean, it's one of those things when you think about it for the whole year, it's, every race matters. You can't take a race off. And yeah, of course, Whitley, I don't mind finishing second in that championship to Whitley. I mean, hell, he won 9 races, tied the league record for most wins in a season, and nobody had anything for him all season. I mean, where Matthew got there at the end was
Right.
about what anybody had for him all season was, being able to get up there and keep up with him, but not be able to make that killing move. But yes, I'll take it. My best season, or maybe not my best season, but my best year in All American. So can't complain about that.
Do you go back to these last couple races where I don't want to say you outthought yourself, maybe with some pit strategy, some things happening with two tires and then a bad pit stop, little things like that. Does that hurt you, you think, from the side of competing with Mark for the championship? Because you got to remember, Mark also had a couple bad runs during this hot streak he was on, but also at the beginning of the season, you took off and he was kind of behind a little bit and had to catch you. And of course, you had those couple of rough spots there at the end that allowed him to kind of kick off.
Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah. I mean, there was a couple of things you go back over the course of the season. If I had pitted there on the green white checkered at Chicago end in week 2, I mean, I went from 2nd to 11th and 2 laps there at the end. So that's the difference between probably, I don't know, we'll see here when Joseph updates the points, but that's probably the difference between 1st and 2nd in the yearly title. But as far as Whitley, I mean, you look at it, he finished 3rd at Daytona. I think no, 4th at Daytona. Got taken out in lap 1 at Chicago end. Won every race except for Watkins Glen where he wrecked out, Talladega where he finished 3rd, and Darlington where he wrecked out. So, I mean, it's like there was nothing really that I could do much better. I mean, yeah, I could have maybe saved the fuel and finished 5th or 4th or whatever the last 2 weeks, but or Phoenix and Kansas, but I really don't look at that as a championship that I kind of lost. I felt like I never really had a chance at it. It just by the way of that, and me having such a good start and Whitley having that trouble early on, kind of it's almost kind of like a pit cycle. Like I undercut, so to speak, on the points and got out front early on, and then he just was catching me the whole time. And
Right.
see, I'm not really gonna cry too much about the seasonal title. It's more with that yearly championship. And like I said, that dismal start to the year that I had back in February is more what's going to bother me when I think back. But at that point, you're not thinking about the yearly title. I mean, hell, I wasn't thinking about the seasonal title at that point. So
I just wanted to get through season 5.
yeah. I mean, once we got, remember after Sonoma, I was ready to retire, and then we went to Texas, and I won that race. And it's just one of those things. But death by a million cuts, or whatever they say. I had 3 or 4 bad races this year, and that cost me the title over somebody like Heller who had maybe 1 or 2. So, and hey, I had more starts than he did. I had more starts than anybody this year, so I can't complain about bad performances because I had more chances and didn't do as much with it as other people did theirs. So,
well, great job, man. Send some shout outs whoever you like to.
shout out to everybody that raced in All American this year. I don't know the number from February to November exactly. I know we had 70 or so drivers last season and 60 or so drivers this year. Obviously, there's a lot of crossover, but shout out to each and every one of them. Well, almost every one of them. Shout out to you for doing the broadcast, man. You finally got through a season without
How about that?
without missing a broadcast. It took me. You calling in via satellite and some last minute scrambling at the Glen to get that done. But hey, I'm glad for that because I know about this time last year there was a big concern if you were even going to be able to kind of keep broadcasting on Fridays because your work was jerking you around so much. But yeah, shout out to you. You did a great job, and I really think you're the best broadcaster. Congratulations on 1,000 non-bot subscribers. I know. Hey, you got to it.
We hope.
You got to it. You got to. You got to it before you got to 1,000 streams. So I guess that's some kind of achievement. Shout out to Joseph for doing race control all 6 seasons so far. Obviously, he wasn't really needed tonight, which I think is kind of ironic, but he's always done a great job. Never taken it. He's refused money for it before, so I know we kind of gave him a start doing race control, but still, I mean, he always did a great job and got so much better as the seasons went on. And it's going to be really weird running the league without him being here every single week. I think he'll still be around a couple weeks next season. But gosh, shout out to everybody that came out. Shout out to everybody that watches, especially if you're still watching right now for this 20-minute interview. I appreciate you guys, really. I mean, it's one thing for us to come out here and have fun for ourselves, but to know that there's a dozen or more people that tune in each week and enjoy just watching us race. I mean, just kind of sitting on the sidelines. That's that's awesome. I mean, I guess technically we're entertainers, so I'll take that. Shout out to everybody that sponsored. I want to kind of cut this short, but MH Designs, White River LLC earlier in the year. I think that's pretty much about everybody, but we were kind of running in-house here. But shout out to my teammate CX2, Josh Dillon, Nick Terrell, Mike Husby, Cody McCorkle, even though work got in the way, he could only race once this season. But shout out to those guys, and that's pretty much that. Go ahead and get Matthew in here, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll also point out that I heard you try to boom Howard. Thanks for coming out, everyone. line on me. Don't think I didn't catch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Hey man, I'm out of breath. You got to cut me some slack.
all right, fair enough. Go have fun.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, bye. As Casey Carrington finishes third, I think he was trying to say something there. Kicked him out. Let's get our second place finisher, Matthew Weeks, in here, who obviously just comes up a little bit short from getting around Whitley to get that win. But I think the more impressive part here to bring up is in a green flag race, pretty much of 134 laps, Matthew, you start back in 12th. And you literally get to the back bumper of Whitley, which, I mean, let's face it, that's probably at least 10 seconds of time in the end that you've made up to get to him.
Yeah, I am sweating, dude. I'm so wore out.
You need
I'm
some Mountain
sorry.
Dew.
Hold on one second. My daughter came in for a second, so it just threw me off track.
It happens.
But yeah, it was a struggle. I can't believe I got that close to him. Like I was not comfortable at all in practice. Qualifying, I don't know if you watched it, if you've seen it on the broadcast. I mean, I almost wrecked in qualifying, going to start my second lap. So I said, screw it, I'll go with this. And then I thought I was going to wreck on lap 1 because the guy in front of me didn't get going, and I got pushed up in the air from behind. And then it was just a dog fight trying to get up there. And Mark, you know, he's quick everywhere, dude. He's so good. And I think that first run, the last 8 laps, I noticed I was 2 or 3 tenths better. I'm like, dude, if it just keeps going like this, I was like, these boys are in trouble. I wish I could have got in front of them before the last stop, though. That was the only thing I wanted to do.
Was there anything you could do off the bottom? I mean, I know you could pass or race a little bit, it seemed like, off that bottom line, but it seemed like it was just the dominant way to go.
It was hard to make a pass just to get the, to get the tires to fucking stay. Oh, freak! My bad. My bad.
Keep the streak going. Yes. Yes.
It's just so hard to get the tires rotating from the bottom, man. And it's hard, but if you can really easily get on the gas and get the power down, you could really get the bottom to roll. But just like most tracks like this track, dude, it's harder to pass when you're on the bottom because you just get such a run on the outside. But if you have better tires, I think the bottom does come into play, and ripping that bottom saves your tires more than anything. So.
Well, obviously, it was a great run, man. Great season. I know it wasn't what you wanted, obviously, but you battled back and worked your way up through the, through the field multiple times. And of course, you had the rough race last week at Richmond. I definitely mean what I say earlier. I'm going to have to take that line that he said in the race where he said, "Anybody else want to hit me? Come on, keep it coming," or whatever it was, exact words. But I'm going to have to use that for another race that I recently broadcasted. But finished 4th in points, it looks like, as you did get past Miles, who wasn't here tonight, but did get the one win this season too. So that definitely was something good to go off of.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's probably 3 or 4 races I felt like I should have won. There's just been some circumstances that happened, like Charlotte. There was a late race caution. I felt like I was the best car there, and then Darlington, Mark, and I, we had a little going into one. It was just a little racing incident, and I felt like I was the best car there. Indy, I really didn't get a chance to race because I got turned lap 1. So I mean, there's just a lot of bad stuff that happened this season. But to come out with the 4th place in points with all the struggles I've had, I mean, it's good. And I raced to the back of the field. I don't know how many times. I think there was one track where I drove from 20th to probably 8th or 7th, 3 different times. So the speed's there. I need to be more consistent, put myself in better positions, I think, and just go with the flow, win more races. Especially if Mark's here, got to win more races because he's going to win probably 3 or 4 races every season. How fast he is. So.
Well, I'm looking at the points right now, and a couple of stats pop up at me, which, of course, you got the win at Chicago in the second race of the season. However, you didn't get a pole this season, which you're the only one in the top 5 that did not. And then here's the one that's probably going to blow your mind. You had more than, or almost double, I should say. I was going to say more than, but then I see Miles down below you there. Whitley at 26, Carrington 16, Henry at 14, Heller 27, Miles 25. You had 52 incident points.
Yeah, and most of them is me just being in the wrong spot at the wrong time. It happens like the other leagues. It's the same thing, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's races, man. So you just got to go with the flow. Like me and Mark was talking before I come in here, and You know, you come in, there's a streak where you have bad luck, dude, and it just continues and continues, and you're just like, God, man, why do I want to do this? And then you get hot, and you're winning races, running top three. I mean, it just comes and goes. That's how racing is. So,
Exactly right, man. Well, great job. Send some shout outs.
um, shout out to you, Chris. I know I tell you every time up here, but man, you do a great job, dude. I love your streams. Everyone that watches, dude. I hope we put on a good show. I try to catch Mark, man. I almost had him. Um, 213 Simware, JD Designs, JV Designs, all my Pro Edge guys, Austin who watches in, Betty who watches in, all the other team Fueled Up, all my buddies over there. Everyone that enjoys watching me race, and I love putting on a show for them guys, and I love racing them too. And everyone in the league, dude. Like I was telling Casey, I love racing these guys every single season. I mean, I'm always going to come back. This is out of the. I run 2 leagues. It's Elite and this, and they're my
Right.
2 favorites. I won't race nothing else, and I have such a blast racing these guys, and I can't wait to come back and do it again next season.
There you go, man. Well, hey, great job tonight. Congratulations on the top 4 points finish, top 2 run tonight, and we'll see you in Daytona. Something tells me you've won there before.
Oh yeah, I do love me some Daytona.
All right, buddy. Good job.
All right, man. Thank you. You have a good night.
You too. As Matthew Weeks finishes in the 2nd position here tonight, 4th in the points overall for the season 6 title, and we'll go over the regular season 2023 championship here momentarily. But first, let's get our champion and winner here tonight, Mark Whitley, who is the season 6 champion, but also the winner tonight. And not to mention, you heard Casey say it, and I kind of mentioned it too, the new, or tied, I should say, for the record, most wins in a season in league history with 9. So congratulations on that, Mark. What a season it was for you.
Thank you. I felt a little worn out after that because went from kind of on a Sunday cruise at the beginning of the race to having to drive my butt off just to stay in front of Matthew. He found something toward the end of that race, and my car just kind of felt like it went away. So had to pull out every bit of information, all my tricks, and everything I've come up with over the years to try to keep him behind me, and it thankfully worked out. We didn't wind up wrecked like we did at Darlington, so that's always a plus side. Just glad we were able to come out on top, and didn't have a lot of pressure. Pretty much all I had to do was just start the race, and we were going to be locked in for the championship, so we could just go out there and focus on the race. And it looked like it was going to be a nice little cakewalk for us, and then all of a sudden here comes the 11 just out of nowhere, and he definitely made me earn it, and I was sweating bullets. But hell of a race with him. Love racing him most of the time. Other than when we get into each other, or me pull a boneheaded move and kill both of us at Darlington. But yeah, man, just excited to finally get a championship because last season was some of the worst luck I think I've ever had on iRacing. So I'm glad to have turned it around, and like I said, I didn't realize the tying the record thing. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, and not to mention, let's throw that little bad luck thing in there. Is no pressure on you here, but of course the last 2 champions in this series, which is Matthew Weeks and Christopher Heller, the following year struggled in the next season, I should say. So, I mean, I know there's really not a way you can control like what happens outside of you, but is there anything you can do on your end to prevent that happening?
Just keep doing more of the same, qualifying up front, running, trying to keep the nose clean. I mean, we kind of had our own little fair share of bad luck this season. I mean, Darlington, we just kind of, that was kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Watkins Glen, we were leading the race by like 6 seconds, and the car just stepped out and it killed us. And that was, 18th place finish when it could have been a win, or, at least top 5. Earlier this season, going into lap 1, I forget what track it was, really beginning of the year, I got distracted because somebody else about spun out, and I ran right over somebody else and killed the car and went 2 laps in the whole race. So I feel like, just try to minimize that. That's something I need to work on overall next year. I feel like this year I've kind of been a little bit more loosey-goosey. Hasn't been it's concentrated on just, getting good finishes and staying out of trouble. So I think that's going to be it, just trying to stay out of trouble. Hopefully still have the speed. I don't think iRacing plans on changing these cars too much in the relative near future, so hopefully we should still have a pretty good handle on it. Depends on if any of the setups change, if I they still fit my driving style. It's just about going out there and competing, honestly. Can't really say anything else. Sometimes it's stuff out of your control. Like Daytona, we finished 3rd and Casey finished 4th because we were in a tight battle at that point. But it could have been easily, somebody get loose or net code, and we could have wound up 20th in that race.
Right.
It's just sometimes you just need luck. Last season we didn't have it at all. This season we had it a decent amount. So hopefully next season we can continue with that and not revert back to last season, I guess.
Nah, man, great job. Well earned on your end. Send some shout out to whoever you like to, bud.
Yeah, big shout out Brantley Harpoon Design. He threw together this little gold and black car, kind of copied my car, ran in another league last week from a championship race. Love the work he does at harpoondesign.com. Check him out. Get something custom made. He does awesome work. He does really fast work. Just he has a form you can fill out on his website. Just go in there and fill it out. He'll get back to you real soon. Y'all can work on something. He does, like I said, some of the best work I've ever seen in iRacing. So check him out. Or, he's also got like 2,000 paints on Trading Paints. So there's plenty to pick from that he's already made. So if you want to go check him out on there too. And then shout out to both my teammates, Joseph McCoy, Jonathan Smith. I think they both got top 10s tonight. Really good, strong finish for Driven Motorsports. All three of us in top 10. Both of them, they're only running here whenever they can. I really, like them being in here. Always great having teammates. I think this is probably the best finish all three of us have had in a league night here. So really good run for us. Thankful for them being my teammates and supporting us, having fun on the weekends. And shout out to my family tuning in these broadcaster races. I always appreciate their support. And my granddad's been having some health issues lately. He's on the road to recovery though, so really, thankful for that. Hoping he's able to tune in and see this race. Hopefully, he did him proud. I guess big last shout outs to the league and to you, league, for having me going on now. This is like my third season I've raced in, so glad everybody enjoys having me here. I don't get yelled at. Some leagues you go to, everybody yells at you if you win too much, but everybody around here is really, really they don't they don't talk shit. They just they're like, hey, congratulations.
Right.
Like, it's a really nice little change sometimes. And for you putting on a great broadcast, it's always fun. You make it interesting to go back and watch these races. Even our more boring races when it's some of these tracks, they get all strung out and whatnot. I know it can be a little boring, but you always make it entertaining. So I'm glad to have you as a broadcaster, and I can't wait to go back and watch this one because it should be a hell of a lot less stressful than it was in the car.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations, and yeah, you're the champ.
Yeah, finally. Casey made me earn it there. I was I wasn't sure for a little while.
I know it was tough, and then yeah, especially weeks there too. But no, you earned it, man. Good job.
All right, man. I'll catch y'all next season.
Sounds good. Mark Whitley, the season 6 champion. Oh, geez. Good. Well done, Amy. Well done, Amy. That I have never lost hope in any of Amy's jokes, by the way. Let's go talk to our regular season champion as I pull Chris up here, and let me go get the point standings here really quickly as he wins the overall championship here for the All-American Cup Series. Congratulations on that, Chris, as I work on getting it. There it is. And, yeah, win it by 12 over Casey Carrington. Obviously, a season that you go out season 5, you win the championship there, and then the struggle bus shows up on season 6. And for there, you just kind of had to fight your way, much like tonight, to get this championship in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not an easy path start of the season. But luckily I was able to get it together and just try to string some top 5s in there, and had a couple chances at a couple wins this season. But man, 2023 as a whole, as far as winning races, has been pretty tough. I think I've only won one race this year as a whole, and it's definitely been tough compared to last year where I ran probably more races and won more races as a whole, like in all the leagues that I ran, versus this year I've kind of just ran this league. But it definitely had to earn it this season for sure.
Yeah, and of course that win here came back in Darlington in March. Was that win in the end? 21 top 10s though, had the poles obviously, and had enough consistent finishes there throughout the regular season. But obviously, you go into this race here tonight, You know, you had you were running up there towards the front most of the night, and then you come to pit road at lap 97. Your thoughts on that? What was your strategy there with that thought?
I mean, I knew I wasn't gonna win where I was at, and I had such a big gap behind me. I had like an 8-second gap behind me, so I just decided to swing for the fences there and maybe catch a lucky caution, or honestly just see if I could leapfrog a couple guys. That's essentially my idea, was trying that, but ultimately it was just a net gain of 0. So
Right.
I ended up right back in the same spot. So I mean, it is what it is, I guess. I was
Nah.
just trying something, see if it could work, and maybe see if I could lead a lap or whatever. Because I was trying to finish fourth in this season's points versus fifth, but it didn't work.
Well, it was an A for effort, one for a lack of trying, man. But nonetheless, too, your team 2511 also got themselves another team championship.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon obviously wasn't able to really race this season. He's had a lot of stuff going on in his personal life, which is good. He got engaged and he just moved into a house, so he's
Awesome.
been doing a lot of house projects. So he's kind of had to put sim racing on the back burner for a while, and he expects to be back next season. So that's pretty exciting to have him back, as well as we'll have Zach back next season as well. And Zach definitely pushes me to be better, and I definitely have to work even harder having a teammate like him. But now having to race someone like Mark, who just once we went to this car, he just took off. But yeah, it's we got to get better to beat Mark. So we're definitely gonna have to put in the work next season for sure.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations all season long, from February to now. You are the overall champion by 12 over Casey Carrington. Go ahead and send some shouts over your like too.
Yeah, again, like the whole team, 2511 as a whole, I just appreciate them showing up or doing what they can to help out the team. Greatly appreciate that. Want to congratulate Mark on his championship, passing the torch on to him. We're gunning for him to beat him. Appreciate you, Chris, for the broadcast and just everyone who watches it. And let's take a nice long break and then get back at it next season.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations. And team champion, overall champion, and go enjoy the holidays, bud.
Yep, for sure.
Absolutely, man. That is the champion of 2023, Christopher Heller, and that Ghost number 8. Congratulations to him on winning the overall championship here this season in that car, and also to the team for winning the team championship. So let's really quickly, before I take off, let's show you, I should say. As unfortunately, Scal is running out of gas. Let's just put it like that right now. Heller wins it by 12 over Carrington. Matthew Weeks falls up one short. That win would have gave him P2 in those points. Mark Whitley gets back to 49 points with 10 overall wins this season. So that just shows you the inconsistencies he talked about in Season 5, how much that really hurt him. Stephen Miles ends up 5th with Henry, 6th, Leo, Dylan, Husby, and Craig Martin finishing in the top 10 in the overall 28 race schedule for 2023. So that is how that looks. I guess it helps if I'd show you. There you go. I was reading off the preview screen. But hey, a big shout out to all the viewers who watched tonight, who's watched all season long. A lot of new ones, of course. This was the league that got me to 1,000. You know, thanks to a little help from Steve Tucker, who wanted to shout at him. Shout to, all these viewers who watched tonight. Kyle Ethier, who walled himself on turn 1. Roger Pierce, who was spotting tonight. Of course, Brantley Roden, who's helped me out. Aaron Thomas, Amy Hope, Patty Heller. I'm just running through names here. Techno Wizard 69, all these guys, all you guys and girls, appreciate you watching on the stream. Dan Marrera stopped by. It's perfect timing. Appreciate what he does too, and I appreciate everybody. Like I said, this has never been about me. This has always been about the drivers and about the viewers. The only part I guess you could say that I did put about me was the 1,000 subscribers. but that was just an ego thing, if you will. Otherwise, it's about them, and I get the pleasure of broadcasting the best leagues every week. And it's going to be something I miss here for the next little bit when I'm only doing one league pretty much throughout the month of December. But, of course, next week we will not be on at all. You'll see me do some maybe AI stuff or whatever where I don't know if you've seen any of that stuff I've done. It's kind of craziness where I do AI iRacing stuff. I'll probably do that a little bit. Otherwise, you probably won't see much of me throughout the weekend to take some time off myself and relax and get ready for what is going to be a wild month of December at work. And, yeah, we'll go from there. So we'll be back in February as long as I'm allowed to. And we'll be back at Daytona ready to go for Speed Weeks 2024 from Daytona International Speedway. So thank you, Casey Carrington. Thank you, all the admins. Thank you to all the drivers and everyone involved in this league. It's been a lot of fun. So we're going to head out. Enjoy the... I'm okay with it not being February right now. Give me a week or two off, and then I'll say, hey, let's go February, right? Appreciate everybody for watching tonight. As always, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.